Jamie eventually learns what Captain Charles Cunningham is up to in Outlander Season 8, Episode 3, Abi's Frasery, and he's not pleased about it. Brianna and Fanny are shopping at the trading post as this episode begins. The two have a wonderful bonding moment at first, but when two guys approach Fanny with obviously dishonorable intentions, the atmosphere changes. Fanny informs Brianna that the men were officers when they eventually go. After years of watching customers in the brothel where she grew up, she was able to identify that kind of conduct. This is the first major warning sign of the Outlander Season 8 episode, as these men were at the trading station to see Captain Cunningham. More about that later, of course. Before Jamie learns the truth about Cunningham, a lot more takes place. First of all, a letter from Lord John Grey reopens Jamie's jealousy wounds. John wants Brianna to travel to Savannah in order to paint a portrait of Amarandis, the widow of Ben Grey, and her children. Immediately annoyed, Jamie prohibits Brianna and Claire from interacting with Lord John. This obviously doesn't work out. In Outlander Season 7, Part 2, Jamie and Claire's last major argument about the Lord John Grey predicament is accompanied by a number of other incidents. William continues to look into his cousin Ben's death, and although he doesn't get the answers he's looking for, the process helps him get to know Ben's widow. Another glimpse of Lord John's tense relationship with Percy Beauchamp, who requests a favor involving Fergus Fraser from his former partner, was provided in this Outlander episode. In Outlander Season 8, Episode 3, Claire mysteriously brings a stillborn baby back to life, which is a major event. All of this is followed by Jamie and Captain Charles Cunningham's inevitable altercation. Jamie has found it difficult to trust this man, despite the fact that he is hard to dislike. This Outlander episode explains that Cunningham hasn't actually retired from His Majesty's army. Thus it turns out that it was for good reason. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms stops inquiring about what honor is in Episode 4, and begins to wonder if the expense is worthwhile. Dunk has so far operated under the straightforward tenet that stating the truth, standing tall, and doing the right thing will all be sufficient. However, Westeros responds to him in Episode 4 with silence, followed by Reaper. Jamie learns that Benjamin Cleveland has shot and murdered the two men who had come to see Cunningham at the trade station after hearing gunshots when he and Fanny are in the woods. The men had been bringing firearms onto Fraser's Ridge, Mr. Cleveland reveals with joy. Jamie searches the bodies and returns with a letter written to Captain Cunningham before stopping his adjacent landowner from stringing up the corpses and burying them instead. Cunningham is confronted by Jamie, who points out that although the letter appears uninteresting at first glance, crucial words suggest something quite different. After a brief exploration of the trade post, Jamie finds a key that, when placed over the letter, reveals a new message. The letter sender, identified as Major Patrick Farragson, is asking for fresh soldiers and offering to supply additional weaponry. Cunningham is forced to tell Jamie the truth now that the information is out. He is building a loyalist militia on Fraser's Ridge, and has not yet retired from the British Army. Of course, Jamie is furious, but Cunningham says he wants Jamie to support his cause. After spending some time together, Cunningham thinks Jamie's political beliefs aren't all that unlike from his own. In order to put an end to the conflict and bloodshed, he exhorts him to assist the monarch in declaring victory. Jamie is left to contemplate the offer as Outlander Season 8, Episode 4 draws to a close. The conclusion of Outlander Season 8, Episode 3, was Claire's enormous miracle, even if the Major Cunningham revelation was the main focus. Susanna, a laboring lady in dire need of assistance, arrives to the Fraser residence earlier in the episode. Claire examines the woman and finds out she is pregnant with twins. Susanna's labor is halted because the two babies get entangled on each other. Naturally, Claire can resolve this, with a little cunning and practical medicine. Eventually, the first baby is born without any problems. But when the second baby is born, the problems start. Claire does her best to wake the baby, who looks to be stillborn, but both she and Jamie are aware that there is no hope. He observes with sadness Claire's need, and understands that she has been transported back to that time in France all those years ago, when she was holding Faith's body. We also see this from Claire's point of view. She hears Master Raymond's voice, sees images of Faith and blue wings, and sobs over the infant. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. In Outlander Season 8, Episode 3, Lord John Grey and Percy Beauchamp had a secret talk during the dinner in Major General Leslie's honor, which was another intriguing scene. The past of these two is murky. They were once in love, but their relationship ended fairly abruptly. Percy nevertheless requests a favor from Lord John. He says that for some reason, he has been trying to contact Fergus, but Jamie's adopted son has not responded to his correspondence. Percy is hoping that Lord John will help to close the communication gap. Lord John consents to help, but he demands that Percy find Captain Richardson in return in order to blackmail Lord John. This double agent had William abducted. Since then, he has gone missing, and William and Lord John are both keen to see the man brought to justice. As mentioned before, Lord John wants Brianna to visit Savannah in order to paint a portrait of Amarandus and her infant. Brianna accepts the expedition in spite of Jaime's reservations, but she wants to travel to Savannah for other reasons. The Battle of King's Mountain, which Frank described in his book, seems to be inevitable in Outlander Season 8. Brianna and Roger want to make sure their allies have enough weapons, in case they can't avoid the war. There will be plenty of chances to purchase firearms in Savannah. Brianna and Roger intend to buy this item with the Jacobite gold that Jaime concealed. Jaime first forbids it, but this is more related to his anger toward Lord John than anything else. Brianna has every right to utilize the gold he handed her, whatever she pleases. Nothing stops Roger and Brianna from obtaining those weapons once Jaime and Claire have dealt with their anger over the Lord John issue. Everyone wanted to think that Frank's prediction that the Revolutionary War would arrive at Fraser's Ridge was untrue, but it appears like the writing is on the wall once Benjamin Cleveland shows up, and it is revealed that Cunningham is organizing a militia. We are aware that Jaime won't be joining the Redcoats as Cunningham has hoped. Therefore, it is inevitable that these two guys will cross paths on different sides of the battlefield. It remains to be seen if Frank was right regarding Jaime's demise at the Battle of King's Mountain. There will undoubtedly be answers in upcoming Outlander Season 8 episodes. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms stops inquiring about what honor is in episode 4 and begins to wonder if the expense is worthwhile. Dunk has so far operated under the straightforward tenet that stating the truth, standing tall, and doing the right thing will all be sufficient. However, Westeros responds to him in episode 4 with silence, followed by repercussions. It's not a noisy episode. There are no marching armies. There are no dragons yelling in the